Hey there, Robin from Anime America here, along with Megan, Shannon, and oh, hi, Ellie.
Hi.
Yeah, we're going to be answering some questions that you left for us for the Anime Awards of 2014. Ellie, can you lay down the ground rules?
All right, so here's the rules. No one will be talking over each other, and I'll be mediating it. Woo! I will be saying the questions. So if I mess up your name, this is my advance apology. I am sorry if I mess up your name. I am just not good at pronouncing things. Also, we're going to read the full comment. So once we get through the full comment, someone will answer, and we'll probably each have somebody answer. And then for those of you asking about a certain anime, we could be here for 3 hours. And if we don't get to your question, we're really sorry, but we don't want to make this a 3 hour video.
Nope.
So we got some of the most popular questions and we'll be answering them here today. Woo! So are you guys ready?
Yep.
Ready?
Wait, do we do the first thing we need to talk about is there are certain titles that we will not be mentioning because they were not released in 2014. Am I right, Ellie?
Yes, the ones that were not released in 2014. Attack on Titan, Kill la Kill. Someone mentioned Inuyasha, which I have yet to figure out. Uh, no laughing at people. Some people just don't know.
I know.
So, would you guys care to explain how the seasons run and how we go about judging animes and when animes overlap into the next season? Would you guys like to explain that to everybody so they can understand why Attack on Titan or Kill la Kill is not in the 2014 awards?
I'll do it.
Go ahead.
Basically, if the way that we pick awards is we go from winter of 2014, as of last year, was winter of 2014 to fall of 2014.
So basically,
winter season starts in January. Fall season tends to start in October, November, roundabout. So basically, here's how I'm going to explain it for people using an anime I like. Kuroko no Basket season 2 started in October of 2013, but finished in about March of 2014 because it was 26 episodes, just like Kill la Kill is 26 episodes and finished in around about the same time. So basically, they started in what would be considered the fall season, but overlapped into winter. Currently, which I believe Cross Ange is doing, and Your Line April would be doing. Things like Andala Zero or Tokyo Ghoul Root Alpha, Root of A or Root Alpha, depending on how you say it, would be considered winter 2015 titles because they started separately from their first season, as both Andala Zero and Tokyo Ghoul are both summer 2014 animes. Therefore, for our awards for 2015, if we did the best sequel award, those two series would count. Things like Your Lie April wouldn't count because they're technically continuous from winter. That's how it runs. So basically, if, say, Your Lie April would have ended in at 12 episodes and then started another Your Lie April 2 in like spring, we would count Your Lie April 2 if it was a good sequel. But because it's continuous, it's not counting in that. I think that's a good example. Or like with Kuroko season 3 could technically be considered best sequel, even though it's a sequel of a sequelception, because it's starting separate from what season 2 and season 1 would be.
I think that pretty much sums it up.
Yep, I think it does.
All right, next question.
Yep. Now, the other question that is the most popular question that will have to be going to Robin. I can't pronounce the anime Bakuman.
Barakamon.
Why wasn't Barakamon on the list? And this one is going to you, Robin.
Okay, if anything, this was one of the hardest years we've ever had judging the animes, and Barakamon in several categories could have made at least third, especially with the artwork and the story that everybody else is liking. It was up for best slice of life, and a lot of people are screaming at me for wondering why it was not chosen for best slice of life. However, I have seen, and you've seen my review of it in the fall 2014
Summer
my summer 2014 review video. I've seen Barakamon so many times. And if anything, it kind of, it's kind of different from other versions because it had a little mixture of Usagi Drop. So this was Doc Hollywood mixed up with Usagi Drop. I've seen this. It was cute, but I've seen it. In which I look at animes like Shirabaku and Denki Guy, and they, I think like even though like those ideas have like Denki Guy, I can't really recall. Maybe it's similar to Genshiken, but it's like people who run a store and they're like best friends and they're geeky, and I just love the characters and the idea of it, and just watching. I like watching those characters, and it really grabbed hold of me. And with Shirobako, it told me something I'd never seen before in an anime, and it was kind of like behind the scenes of how they make anime, but in an anime format, and I loved watching them. That's why I, suggested that as the number one anime of Slice of Life. Because Shirobako and Denki Guy, I've never really seen those from time to time. And if they are like recycled ideas, they at least vamped it up with something a little bit more original with their characters. With Barakamon, the story has been done to death, and they recycled the characters. I've seen those characters before. I've seen Barakamon so many times from other stories. If anything, like it could have gotten several awards, but it just fell short because there were slightly better ideas out there. And I'm sorry, I know you guys out there like Barakamon, but we felt it just wasn't as good as compared to other titles. And Shannon has something to say about it.
All right. Okay, so you've also seen the summer 2014 thing we did. This was the one anime me and Robin kind of butted heads with, where she had things about it because it was a used concept and it was all right. I actually really liked it for the main reason of that yes, it was a concept that has been seen before, but so has most of the animes, especially the ones like Shirabaku and Dekiga in concept. I just like to me, it gets to the point now in 2014 now where everything is gonna get rehashed or redone. It's just how you're going to how your taste and how your preferences are going to melt with bonding with a certain anime. And while I saw her point, I still stand by it should at least won something. I mean, okay, I get her on Denki-ga, because Denki-ga is on its own level. That episode 3 kind of got me. Episode 3 kind of got me on that show. But Shirabaku, I kind of have to disagree in my own personal aspect, because I've seen the let's make an anime so many times.
Name one title.
Well, let's see. Well, I'm talking about in the whole let's make an anime / manga. It's all the same thing in a certain aspect.
Manga and there's anime. I'm sorry. I know what you're saying. Like with the whole like let's make a manga. That's what the Nozaki-kun one is.
There's Bakuman. There's Mongirl, which was a really bad one. There's been a lot of those generic ones in the shorties category, like the 5-minute long ones.
There's also Sekai Hatsukoi.
Yeah. In my opinion, it could have won something, but again, that's just preferring to taste. And in the end, I just I kind of had to give Robin this one on the main reason it was Denki-ga over the Shirabaku. I don't think it fell short, in my opinion, though. It could have made number 2 for me.
I just have one thing to say on this, and this is towards Robin, a little bit on the it's been rehashed type thing. I know this came up in the conversation when we had about who we wanted to pick as best friends, and it ended up going to Kageyama and Hinata from Haikyuu, because you had said as much as you wanted to give it to 1 week friends, it was a lot like 50 First Dates to you.
The plot was, yes.
The plot was.
But the friendship was a little bit more convincing than it was in 50 First Dates.
But I'm just saying, like, as a show, though, if you're gonna, like, honestly, it can be from an execution standpoint to you, but I would say it is a little bit weird that you're kind of throwing Barakamon under the bus for being a rehash of Doc Hollywood, when a lot of people who maybe see 1 Week Friends maybe as not as good of an anime, they can use the exact same argument as that. I'm kind of neutral on it, which was I enjoyed Barakamon. I probably liked it better than most slice of life shows, but I tend to not really follow slice of life shows all the way to the end unless they really interest me. So, like, with Denki Guy and them, like, I got through a majority of the show. It just, maybe it just didn't stand out to me because I tend to like other genres. But that's all I have to say on it. I was kind of in the middle with it where I could see both sides, but I sided with Denki Guy because it was a little bit more interesting to me.
Okay. This debate could go on for a while.
I think closing argument with the whole like 1 Week Friends and Barakamon, at least with I'm echoing.
My headphone jack accidentally fell out. That's why.
Whoops.
Whoopsies.
With 1 Week Friends, it's like it is similar to 50 First Days, but it attacked more on the drama.
Okay,
like
so
it had like a different point of view from 50 First Dates. Okay, let's take this idea but put it in a different lighting. With Barakamon, it was Doc Hollywood with Usagi Drop.
Okay, so you're saying because instead of focusing on the comedy aspect of, oh, this girl loses her memory every so often, they focused on the drama. Okay, I understand now.
Mm-hmm.
All right, next question.
Like instead of concentrating on a cute little penguin, they concentrated on the friendship.
Okay, so I grabbed questions. Not going in any particular order. So, this is up to you guys if you want to answer this. You can cut this out if you want. Mike Zarella. I probably pronounced it wrong. Sorry. What is Pupa? Popa?
Oh, Pupa. Why isn't Pupa the worst anime of the year?
No. They're asking what it is. Would anyone like to explain?
Pupa was a shitty anime. That's what it was.
I want to do it. Let me do this one.
Do it, Shannon.
All right, Shannon, go ahead.
Go ahead, Shannon.
Okay. Now, I've heard some things in the community about the manga being really, really good. And I went to go read it. It's actually a lot better than the manga portrayed. So basically, it was supposed to be a short series, like a 5-minute, one of those shorty things, funny, about how one day a brother and sister are walking down the street. They look at the flowers and everything changes. In other words, it kind of becomes a horror an incestual horror that involves the government and a weird alien demon child thing. If you guys, because like, I forgot the movie. I forgot the actual real life movie was called about the demon child that grew in a woman's belly.
Rosemary's Baby?
Yes, it was basically Rosemary's Baby in anime form with an incestual fetish mixed with.
Who the fuck wanted to combine incest and Rosemary's Baby? What the fuck drugs do you want?
First, it starts like this. She sees the flower. The little girl sees the flowers. She turns into a monster. She eats people. Meets people. The brother's like, oh my god, this can't be possible. You're not that horrible. He tries to favor her. She eats him. Next episode, he is fine because we find out that the guy is an immortal. He can regenerate his parts. Like, for example, if an organ got cut out, it would regrow. And it didn't explain it at all. My problem with the show, besides it being weird, is because it's the main problem with this show, this kind of thing, is that it was in the wrong type of time frame for the wrong type of show. Lots of people got pissed off. For one, it was only for 5 minutes, so all development was out the window. And two, certain episodes got really trippy. One episode went from the sister and the brother having a kind of incestual relationship to cope with her feedings in a gym locker room, to all the way to the mysterious government woman being impregnated with a demon spawn child.
The fuck?
Okay, so this anime was obviously really bad.
Why we did not put this for worst anime? The fuck?
I was like, Robin, Pupa is not worst.
I
Okay,
seriously
okay.
thought because pupa was not something to be taken seriously when you looked at the concept, and then you look at cross-armed sumo wrestler that was trying to be something, and you're just like, yeah, no.
I know. But here's the thing. A lot of after I watched the series, I was talking to a lot of friends, real life and college, who are actually really good with the manga and stuff. And Ellie, I don't know if you're still a big manga buff, but what people have told me is that this anime, the manga to this anime, and like World Trigger both faced with the anime didn't translate well problem, where the manga was a lot better, but when it got to the anime, what the fuck?
Well, that happens a lot with mangas. They don't translate well.
I know, but unlike what happened with World Trigger, where it was just like these tiny nitpicks that made it fall really short. Pupa just like there was no character development. Each episode was like, what? And out of nowhere, they had like a palate cleanser that was like him winning a bear for her. It was weird. It's like Evangelion. It's basically Evangelion all over again with the whole, except if it was all bad, it's like all the horror, and then at the end of the season, it's like it's like all this happy, fluffy stuff.
Alrighty, so I think it's time to move on from the incest. Anyone else?
Please, I need more. I need brain bleach.
Hence why we put it under under runner-up for weirdest anime.
Fuck. The fuck are you on, people?
All right. So, next question. Wow. That's one way to start off a questionnaire.
What's pupa? You don't want to know.
Then we'll end it at that. All right. Next question is from Galaxy Knight. This one is actually for you, Robin. I will read the whole comment. Why is Sailor Moon Crystal your personal favorite, Robin? I love Sailor Moon as much as the next anime fan, but it was just bad adaptation. Wow, I can't read today. The animation was really inconsistent and downright terrible at times, and while it did mostly stick to the original manga, that doesn't excuse the writing for Crystal itself from being shit.
Number one fan for life? Because with favorites, we will just choose whatever one. Hell, we were tempted to do guilty pleasures, in which a certain somebody over there was going to choose. What were you going to choose, Megan?
Oh, for what? My guilty pleasure anime?
Yeah, what was your guilty pleasure anime?
Dramatical Murder.
Exactly.
Robin's played that now, by the way, guys.
Giggity.
Stay on topic, though.
She's played it twice.
On topic, though, like it's. For translation-wise, when it comes to adaptation, it's done one of the better jobs when it comes to adaptation from the original source. However, we all agree here that if this anime was done maybe 10 years ago, it would have been a lot more suitable. If this was under different hands away from Toei, then we could have gotten better results with the writing and with the animation. But regardless, I am a diehard Sailor Moon fan, so that's why I'm kind of like kneeling towards my childhood, but at the same time, it does a lot for me when it comes to the characters and just the overall memories that I get from the show. Like, even I haven't recorded this vlog of episode 14, but as I'm critiquing this, all of a sudden, spoiler warnings, I see human Luna, and I'm crying on the inside. I'm like, oh my god, it's Luna as a human. And
can I say why you didn't cry on the outside?
It's just, I'm just like, oh my god, yes. And it just, there's certain things that happen in the show that really reach me, and I love it. It's my favorite. Like, I put it under runner-up for best remake because I do believe it stayed true to the manga. It should have adapted itself. So it's not the best adaptation, but as a remake, when it's continuing on a source from the 80s, not the 80s, the 90s, from its original source, it's done its job. The pacing and the animation is terrible, but it's still the manga. Hence why it was runner-up for best remake. But what can I say? Like, we could choose whatever title we want for judge's fave.
I can say why she didn't cry on the outside to episode 14.
So I was waiting for you guys at the Tower of
Get
Terror.
off the Tower of Terror. We walked off Robin and I was on with Robin's dad, and we walk off, and I see her on her phone. And I look down. I'm like, "Are you really fucking watching Sailor Moon Crystal right now?"
Tee-hee.
I was gonna say the TLDR to your argument was "fuck you." That's why.
All right, we ready for the next question?
Yes.
Sure.
Yep.
All right, this one comes from Talia from Wonderland. Sorry if I messed up your name. I'm just curious why you chose Love Stage over Ahoraidi.
Ahar no ride. I get to answer this first.
Hold on. I personally think that the storyline is better and the music is so filled with love compared to Love Stage. Also, don't get me started with Diego. He's not a proper voice actor and he just decided to make his character say wish. Like, god damn it, he doesn't do it in the manga, so don't make your character do your iconic thing that no one likes. Sorry for the rant with Diego. I probably pronounced that wrong. End of comments.
First of all, I think I don't know if I can speak for Robin. I know Robin really likes Aharu no Ride.
It's just Alhara Ride.
Aharu Ride, what? I fucking know. The Seiyu thing? I can't explain why the Seiyu did that. That's what Seiyus do. Seiyus do really weird shit sometimes. I don't know why Mamoru Miyano screams in English a lot in animes,
I got
but it's
a proper
usually
example.
really entertaining, and I don't care.
I got a
And
proper
I understand
example
that if-
of voice actors going off script. Robin Williams. They
Well,
had a
even-
script for the genie.
Rest in peace.
Robin.
They had a script for the genie. He did his own thing, and they're like, you know what? Let him do it. So with the whole wish thing, they probably agree. It's like, you know, just let him do it.
Too soon. Too soon.
But
Why?
anyway,
I'm not insulting him. I'm bringing up a good point that like voice actors can do what they want, and sometimes the animation company can adapt to it.
Okay, Robin, you totally interrupted Megan, so.
it's cool. I don't mind. But the thing is that as much as we like our yeah, I can't say
Blue
the name.
Spring
of the thing.
Ride.
I'm just gonna say Blue Spring Ride because I'm a lazy ass American sometimes. Blue Spring Ride. I think we all genuinely really liked Blue Spring Ride, but we really loved Love Stage. Like, Love Stage is sometimes I think we get a little bit caught up in drama romances, and Love Stage was a really good comedic fuck.
What?
So, what?
Oh, we lost Shannon.
Okay, just keep going. Just keep going. We'll add her in.
Sorry. But Love Stage was a really good comedic romance, which you usually don't get really good comedic romances. And the fact is, it's kind of a risk to do a comedic romance show. A lot of times it can come off as being too stupid or too silly. And to also do that with a boys' love series? Come on. It's the fact that it took a risk to us that I think drew Love Stage in. /B, we actually really liked the romance between the two of them.
Mm-hmm.
It was a good romance show, regardless of if Aharu Ride was better or not. I think that it was better and riskier than Aharu Ride was. And Aharu Ride does do a lot of things, but there are also things, like we said with Barakamon, that we have seen done before, where, spoiler alert, you have a guy who's afraid to love someone because of something in their past, blah, blah, blah. What romance show isn't doing that? What romance movie isn't doing that?
Stab.
I like that stuff. Trust me, I love Broken Boys. Why do you think Shin-Ah is my favorite character in Yona of the Dawn? Spoiler alert, I like Shin-Ah. But the fact that Love Stage was funny and charming and romantic made it a better pick, to me at least, than Aharu Ride.
In which I couldn't agree more. Let me put it to you this way. My good friend Amanda, she could not stand yaoi because we had like a group of girls in high school that were so obsessed with yaoi that we were scared away from it. We were just like, oh my god, this is the fandom for it. But I liked yaoi. She didn't for the reasons that like a lot of the couples have no chemistry and they're annoying. She asked me what Love Stage was, and she's like, for the first time, I actually like a boy love couple that's not annoying. These characters are just so real and relatable, and their relationship makes sense. And it's such a good chemistry between these two people, and it's a good story. And I'm just like, wow, for you to say that. And she's like, I know, right? But not only that, it's like another thing is that in the end that they actually hook up with Blue Spring Ride. No offense, like I think in the manga, I'm not sure where they are in the manga. They may have hooked up, but you can get the sense that eventually this couple will come together. But it left on that note of they're still friends. So if anything, it kind of couldn't have been. I think like we nominated for best romance because they had a relationship and they're starting from the ground up as different people. That's why it was nominated. But they did not end up as boyfriend and girlfriend in the end of the show, but we still counted it as best romance because they had a thing together. And they could have a thing together. But the same thing can be said for 1 Week Friends, in which he did like her, but they are friends. But Blue Spring Ride, I love it to death. I watched all 12 episodes, and I'm hoping for more. Love Stage was just the better choice because, it's a romance comedy. You don't really see a good romance comedy. And the chemistry between the couple, it just made sense.
Just for another example to this, like the romance, like do they don't they get together? We totally know that the two in Love Stage totally did the deed, guys. It's a thing. They totally fucked.
They did.
Okay. But
But
you really didn't need that.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
But like I like the show Kami-sama Kiss, which is currently airing a second season, and the season 1 ended with, spoiler alert, Tomoe and Nanami kissing. Going to season 2, it acts like they're not fucking dating at all at this point. And I'm like, well, what the fuck? They kissed at the end of the last episode. What the shit?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's nice to see that they totally fucked.
Alrighty then.
And that's our
I
answer.
just had sex.
Okay. Is Shannon here still?
Yes. Shannon.
No.
Nope, we've lost her. She can just interject on type if Shannon, if you can hear us, just interject on typing if you can't hear us. Anyway, next question.
Next
It
question.
says she's part of the call, but maybe there's something wrong with her mic.
Probably. All right. The next question is from Nicholas Gallagher. Hopefully I pronounced your name right. Greetings, AAP. Why do we sound like an insurance company when people do that? Greetings, AAP. A phenomenal composition for the past year, I assure you. I was very pleased with most of the results except one. However, my question isn't pertaining to that particular concern. My question is, why does Zankyo no Terror fall under thriller instead of horror? Might I inquire if you guys think an anime needs a supernatural element to fall under horror? And lastly, would Zankyo no Terror have won or gotten runner-up if it were in the horror category? Though I'm acknowledging that Tokyo Ghoul was superb in every way.
For me, usually horror, I think for me, horror denotes either one of two things. Serial killers, like Freddy and Jason, who are vaguely supernatural, or Michael Myers, who isn't supernatural. Serial killer type things, or vampires, Frankenstein, that type shit. That's just my own personal view, because that's just how I see horror. Like, things like Nosferatu or Dracula and stuff counts as a horror movie to me, but so does something, I swear to God, I'm so sorry if none of you have ever heard this, and please don't ever watch it unless you want to cry yourself to sleep at night. Not because it's scary, but because you've watched it and you've been subjected to it, and you'll become a mailman, as according to the show Portlandia. A movie like The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari counts as a horror movie to me, because it has something called the somnambulist, which is basically a sleepwalker. But to me, Zankyo no Terror didn't rely on horror tropes, which something like Tokyo Ghoul does rely on horror elements and horror tropes, because it has jump scares and stuff. Zankyo no Terror is a dramatic thriller about terrorists and about their mindset and stuff. And you can say that Tokyo Ghoul is the same way, but at the same time, Zankyo no Terror doesn't have people eating other people and giant tentacle things that come out and stab people and stuff. It's about the terrorist and their mindset. And if Shannon was here, because I can't tell if she is or not.
I'm
Shannon,
right here.
oh, your mic's just being really shitty. Sorry, Shannon. I think Shannon can back me up on this, because Zanko no Terror is kind of her realm of things.
Give me a minute.
Okay. But to me, it doesn't fall under horror because it doesn't have what I think a lot of people technically count as things associated with horror type things, which are supernatural serial killers.
I mean,
Though terrorists are essentially serial killers. I just think it's the way the show went about presenting them.
it's like looking at the movie, look at the movie Cabin in the Woods versus Red State. Cabin in the Woods has the monsters, it has the scare factor, it has people dying from horrific deaths. And then you have Red State, where there are victims that are dying in the most horrific way imaginable. It is about a church that has gone over the hinge, kidnapping people and sacrificing them, all in their righteous way of, purifying the world. In which that's more of a thriller because it has like a police agency trying to stop them, versus these kids are in a horrific situation, monsters are everywhere, and they're dying one by one.
Can I talk now?
Yeah.
Good. All right. First of all, yes, my laptop worked. Yes. Okay. Happiness. Small
Anyways.
victory. So wait, what's the question? Because I actually came back after you guys started.
Why is Zanki no Terror classified under thriller and not horror?
Okay. This is my question. This has been my question.
Sorry, I'm getting bombarded by cats. All three of them are on my desk right now.
Ellie's getting attacked by the pussy.
By the flying pussyfoot.
Okay, back on
Flying
topic.
pussy.
On topic.
Okay. It's not a horror to me. There's a good, honest reason why Zanku no Terror is not a horror to me. It was personally my favorite show, but to be a horror, it's got to accomplish some invoking of fear, of just utter fear of wanting you to not feel unease, but you want to keep watching it anyway. Zanku no Terror is a story that tried to get you somewhere, yet at the same time give you a nice action at the same time. That's why I'm saying it's a thriller. Yes, I'm going to agree on Megan that Tokyo Ghoul was the more appropriate in terms of horror, because Tokyo Ghoul is a horror. While it has a character development story too, Tokyo Ghoul has one of the core elements of media horror, which is gore and guts and just wanting you to just be scared shitless. With Zanku no Terror, it had a different goal in mind. Yes, they were terrorists, but there was a reason why they were terrorists. And if you watch to the end, because I'm not spoiling it, you would know. But the ending would tell you all that it's definitely not a horror.
There's a fine line between scaring the audience and not scaring the audience, in which Zanku no Terror doesn't scare the audience.
There's a fine line between outright scaring someone and being scary. Because Zanku no Terror can be a very scary show to people, but it's not meant to be scary. And even then, I don't always agree. Tokyo Ghoul is a horror show, but it's also a horror show with fucking amazing character development, which is really rare. But anyway, next question. Because that's another answer to another question.
All right. Next question is from, I'm going to mess up your name, Kyan Chula King. Kiana, I don't know. I messed up your name. I'm sorry. All right. I really appreciate the addition of the magical girl genre award. Very good choices in the reverse harems section. Here's the question for you guys, since I haven't heard you guys go in depth on it. And the anime is actually really, really important to me. Do you have a specific reason Katsuki no Yona didn't win more titles than it did? Or just your thoughts on it in general?
This is me.
I have a pretty bizarre emotional attachment to the show manga and the show, but even without those rose-colored goggles, it's still a fantastic plotline and beautiful show.
And we couldn't agree more, Megan.
I easily would have put Yona as a runner-up for Best Female. She grows a lot.
Oh, there were so many good females, though. She was a runner-up, though.
Did you guys watch In Search of the Lost Future? Any thoughts on that train wreck?
I'll answer. to the last part, I've watched an episode of it. Really didn't keep up because it didn't interest me. Second question, to answer the Yona question, because I believe I'm the only one caught up all the way on Yona right now.
I'm caught up.
I'm trying hard. Okay, so Shannon and Megan are caught up. I'm trying, but Universal Hours suck.
I'm watching it twice. I just love that show.
But to me, I really like Yona of the Dawn. I really do.
All of us do.
Like, we all
Yona's
really
the
do
shit.
like Yona of the Dawn. I wouldn't personally have put it in my top 5. It would maybe be my number 6 favorite anime from last year. And I really do. I very much like it. Trust me. I adore Shina. Shina is my favorite character. I'm not reading the manga because I don't have... I'm currently keeping up with, I believe, Tokyo Ghoul, Ri, and Haikyuu, which take a lot of energy to read, by the way. And I'm rereading with our Tokyo Ghoul with 7 chapters a week, so that's why I haven't read the manga. But to me, I really do like Yona of the Dawn. I really do. However, to defend our 2 picks for Best Female, I thought Rize should have gotten Best Female overall. I'm the one dissenter about Kaori getting it, but she's growing on me as a character as Your Lie in April goes on. But she's a very good character. To me, I like the fact that Yona is how Yona is developing. But by the point when we did the Anime Awards, Yona isn't there yet. You see glimpses of how badass Yona is going to be in the flash forward in episode 1 and 2. However, by that point in the series, Yona isn't there. So, and because none of us, I believe, are reading Yona's manga, we can't officially say, yes, Yona is this badass character fully realized, blah, blah, blah. And I can't really say that for Kaori either, because obviously Your Lie in April isn't done, nor have I read Your Lie in April's manga. I have read Tokyo Ghoul's manga, and by the point we did the awards, Tokyo Ghoul's anime was complete. And the reason why Rize's runner-up is that girl had more screen time, had more effect on one show in the least amount of screen time. I believe it comes out at about an episode and a half than any other character. We would totally give Yona of the Dawn more things if Yona of the Dawn was more completed. And though we have a lot of words for Your Lie in April, Your Lie in April's, I think about 12 episodes at that point, had really impressed us.
Mm-hmm.
Like, super impressed us by what it was doing.
Exactly.
So, and again, we have nothing against Yona of the Dawn, and Yona of the Dawn is getting more impressive as it starts to get into retrieving the 4 dragons, but it needs to just go a little bit more to me to fulfill what you kind of see in it. Because I'll admit, I was kind of bored shitless for about 5 episodes, and then it started picking up for me.
So,
may I go?
Go ahead.
All right. In terms of that question, I'm gonna say right off the bat, I've never seen a more amazing reverse harem in a while, and before the peak of my reverse harems in recent was Amnesia, but this one was like, oh my god, thank you whoever wrote that. That was genius. This is genius. However, by the time we got to the Anime Awards, I'm gonna stand by Megan, is that we kind of started doing the Anime Awards around the halfway point of the 26 episode animes. Most of the more than half of the winter season was done. Fall season was done by that time. So, and at the time, Yona was in her annoying state. Am I still correct, Megan? Am I still correct? Was she in her annoying state at the time?
She wasn't. I don't think Yona's an annoying character. I think Yona is a sheltered character being forced to experience the world, but she wasn't.
She wasn't her best. She wasn't at her top physical form.
No, Mom, it is not a man's world. Stop yelling.
It's a man's world. Okay. Yeah, I mean, in my own defense, I kind of, in the list entirely, I kind of normally saw after a while we gave a lot of awards to the same 5 anime.
we will address that.
Really fucking good.
Yeah, because they're really... 2014 was good, and a lot of things were good.
That.
I mean...
Back on subject.
In short, yes. I give high respects, especially as the harem expert of the actual group. But like it's just that's actually happened. This is like the second time it's happened with an anime, and the question we've had with characters falling short because of time constraints. That's just me.
Like,
All right.
when
Anyone else?
we had so many nominees for best female, and Yona was one of them. We had Kaori, Rize, Yona, Nike
Toka.
Ramassiere, Toka. No, I didn't put Toka on the list.
I put Toka on the
You
list.
put Toka on the list. I hated
She
her.
put Toka on the
I
list.
fucking love Toka. Fight me.
You like Toka. I'm just I can't stand her. But
You're mad at her for one thing.
one thing,
And-
and if you guys are interested in what that one thing is, I will address it in the comments down below. Anyways, but we had a lot of nominees, and that's just how close 2014 was. We love Yona. We have nothing against it. If anything, Pop Spectrum, the other channel I am in charge of, is going to have a top 10 2014 anime list, in which Yona of the Dawn is a possibility to be on that top 10 list. 2014 is an impressive year. It's going to be hard for me to keep it down to 10, but Yona of the Dawn is a nominee for that top 10 list. Now, Ellie, one thing I want to ask you is there any mention in the questions that you have written down, was there any mentions of why do you see this as a harem? Because I want to address that real quick.
Yes, actually, there was.
Okay. Yeah, Shannon, our little harem experts, they were wondering why our harems were chosen as best harems, because they didn't really see Yona of the Dawn or Amagi Brilliant Park as harems.
All right, okay. Normally, in the defense, to make things more legit, even though in the Anime America definition, with me personally, I'm starting.
Janice, slow down and just talk slowly.
In my book, it's considered a harem on a normal aspect if one gender overpopulates the other gender in an anime and they make that the central focus of the story. But to be more on a more professional status, we also checked other sources like News Network, AniChart, mostly AniChart because they're mostly up to date about what it was. Both were considered harems, and I could see why after that. Yona of the Dawn is considered a male harem for the main reason the main character is a female surrounded by dudes, and the whole story runs with it. Whether it's her saving the kingdom, it's her interaction with the guys that make it a full-blown harem. You can say the same thing with other shows in this aspect, and technically on the basic concept, they're considered harems as well, just they're not the main focus. Like Amagi Brilliant Park is, that's where I'm also getting at. It's considered a harem because even though it doesn't look like it, the main character is overpopulated with a lot of females that actually give relevant presence. That's the key, relevant presence. We have the main character who's a guy who the other main or really noticeable side characters are mostly female. But they don't focus on a harem. It's more of a comedy aspect and a hint of romance, but mostly comedy. That's why we kind of snuck it into the harem aspect. Also, it was also confirmed via the other sources, official sources.
I actually have something to say about that. I think one of the biggest reasons why a lot of people don't consider a lot of things harem is when it has to do with a female surrounded by a lot of males. Because most harems are males surrounded by a lot of females.
But there are a lot of titles out there where it is the girl surrounded by a lot of guys. That's why they call it either male harems or reverse harems.
Oh, I know, but I think it's because the more general animes that are the most popular with harems are males surrounded by females. That's my opinion.
And yet, like, the female harems or the male harems of this year acted more like a harem as compared to
that
the
is
female
true.
harems, because we looked at 2014, we're like, were there really any female harems? And said, well, there's Trinity 7. We're like,
Well,
Trinity 7 was
to me,
okay.
there's two types of idea harems. There are literal harems, which is the girl or the guy guy is being being attracted by or objectified by the other members of the harem, i.e. girl, i.e. guys A through E want to date girl.
Like Amnesia.
Like Amnesia. Conceptual harems, wow, that sounds so weird. Conceptual harems have the concept of a harem to its most basic form. One girl or guy surrounded by the other gender, and that's it. They normally don't focus on the girl dates whoever, but it's still prominent there as a plot device. It's more there as a plot device and not really the main strive of the anime, like Amiki Brilliant Park. Or in some strengths, even Ouran, because Ouran, even though it had a lot of aspects of a literal harem, it focused more on a romantic comedy after a while, if you know where I'm going with this.
Why do you think Ouran has the joke when the little girl comes in and goes, "It's a reverse harem"? Exactly. There we go. That's your explanation. Also, I'm still pretty much concerned that Dramatical Murder is the best reverse harem of the year, so fight me.
I was going to mention that.
Anyways, how about we go on to the next question?
Actually, Shannon needs to address why we didn't choose Dramatical Murder as best reverse.
Yeah, Shannon, you've played the frickin' game.
Okay, so why isn't it best reverse?
Oh, God.
Not a girl.
Okay. I did make one point about harems where it's all dudes or all girls. Where would they go? And technically, they're in the girl-mance sense bromance thing, which is an off-branch of the harem genre. It's normally not considered a harem in the eyes of most people. But thanks to side characters, it technically still counts as one. Why isn't it why wasn't it male harem? Because I was scared of the pitchforks. I'm sorry. I was scared to get pitchforked.
Come on!
Scared.
OVA rectified everything.
I really was. Because to a point, you can't count the grandma in Dramatical Murder.
Nobody's counting the grandma. We're counting noise clear. We're counting noise clear in Kojak.
Okay.
I forgot Kojaku's name for a minute there.
It just feels like
for the Anime Awards, I wanted it to be a more prominent female in the list. Like, for example, Kuriko. Maybe. Kuriko, you're talking because it's a more prominent female.
Kuriko no Basket is not a fucking harem.
Oh, wait, no, it's not. My bad.
Oh my God, guys.
Huh?
No. We're going to have this conversation really quick.
No, we're not. No, we're not.
What the fuck?
Stop. Everyone stop.
Have that conversation outside of this.
All right.
Yeah, let's just have it outside as Megan.
We need to continue. All right. Now, okay, Megan, just erase your memory of what just happened, and you guys can talk about it later, but we need to continue with the questions.
Serenity.
Should I just sum up what I said really shortly since it all got muffled in the argument?
Go ahead. Just finish it.
Okay, in short, the reason why I didn't count DD Dramatical Murder as a full-on harem is because I wanted something for the Anime Awards to be more recognizable as a harem, and it went more with it. Dramatical Murder is out of stretches, but it's more of a yaoi, and most people know, and most people would accept it more as a yaoi. Also, I didn't want to get pitchforked.
Shitty ass yaoi because they called it sex out.
Anyways, on to the next question. The next question is from Shoki no Coyote. I'm sorry. Just a quick question. Why didn't Noragami get more awards? I mean, being ranked number 4 in fan favorite was pretty awesome, and number 1 in fantasy. But at least think maybe Hiyori should have gotten runner-up in best female, and I wish that it won best opening. The opening to the show is so amazing. I can sing the song right now and mess it up. Anyways, I do agree with most of your picks. Hope you all answer my question. Heart.
Oh, this one's mine because I fucking love Noragami.
Like, Hiyori was a runner-up for Best Female. Like we said, we had a lot of contenders for Best Female.
I think the two reasons I remember Robin saying this, because I wanted to put Noragami for Best Art, because I think Noragami is fantastically animated. And she's like, I think it was her and Kenny were like, it gets kind of washed out. And the second reason we didn't put it for Best Opening, because lo and behold, I had like 7 different openings I liked, and I tried to fight tooth and nail for all of them. Robin, we all really liked the Black Butler opening. And I wish Noragami got more awards. It's on, if you go watch our holiday Matsuri panel, I put it as my personal number 3, only behind Tokyo Ghoul and Haikyuu.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember one of the other reasons we didn't put it up there more was, as much as we like the show, and as much as I really like the show, the last 3 episodes are an anime-only ending, and they're not really good. They're not as good as the first 9 episodes, because the first 9 episodes of Noragami are some of the best 9 episodes this season. However, it would have been better if it will be rectified, hopefully, if they get a season 2, because personally the next 2 arcs that they would be doing in the manga, which would be the Bishaimon arc, which is fucking incredible, by the way, and the Ebisu arc, which is also really good, would be great points to do. But again, it had an anime-only ending, and it wasn't very good compared to the rest. I still think Goya no Michiwais could have been up there more. I really like the song. I really like the animation. I like the animation for the opening and the way it uses color and it uses transition and how it flows very well and keeps the theme of it going very well. But there were things that in other anime that slightly outshined it. So that's why it only got Best Fantasy. And again, we don't control fan favorite. Fan favorite is all you guys. So there's that.
Exactly.
That Ebisu arc, man. I would love to see that animated.
Shine on Earth, bro.
Anyone else?
I'm good.
All right, next question. This comes from the Swimming Queen 29. Yay, I can pronounce this name. Okay, so I only recently got into anime when I started watching Attack on Titan on Netflix. I'm having trouble trying to find anime I like. If I'm into Attack on Titan, what else do you think I would like?
I would say definitely check out Noragami from this year. It's fantastic.
I was about to say, since she watches a show about giant people eating little people, maybe she should watch Tokyo Ghoul.
Yeah, watch Tokyo Ghoul because it's basically better character development than Attack on Titan.
So definitely
I like
Tokyo
Attack
Ghoul.
on Titan too.
And Parasite.
I would say
Definitely
Parasite. It's like I kind of want to answer most questions that end like a thriller with Parasite.
Definitely Black Butler. Black Butler and then Black Butler Book Circus. Don't you ever touch season 2 with the 10-foot pole.
Don't. Stay away from it.
Don't do it.
That's the
Don't
herpes
do
of
it,
anime.
Pandora Heart is actually pretty good.
If we're talking about classic
that's-
titles, yeah, Pandora Hearts.
Pandora's Hearts. I recommend that one.
Exorcist.
Madoka
I'm gonna
Magica,
say Full
definitely.
Metal just to wing it out there.
Both Full Metal Alchemist series.
Both Full Metal Alchemist series.
Both Full Metal
Brotherhood
Alchemist
is better.
Brotherhood. That's a different
Brotherhood, but
argument.
just the first one was pretty good too. It had its own ending, so
I would say Blue Exorcist if you watched it in English, since Bryce is also Rin.
Just look at our top 5 of like our past anime awards. Like the best that we had from 2011. I think it's when we first did it was Madoka Magica. 2012 we chose Chunibyo and Anonatsu. Like things called Waiting in the Summer in English. 2013 our number 1 was Silver Spoon.
Fuck yes.
Along with Attack on Titan and Free. Definitely check out Free because the tears.
Both seasons.
Both seasons of Free. You have to watch that.
I
And
see
this year,
some
check out
guys
top
get a
5.
little heavy with it, but if you're an open-minded guy to that show, you get all my respect.
I honestly, if somebody asks us why that gets best sequel, I'm about to rip someone a new asshole.
All right.
I think that's all the questions.
Anyways,
Moving on.
moving on. I'm just gonna spell out the name because it doesn't make any sense to say it. JNHMTC317
Okay.
is asking, I just like to know what made Tokyo Ghoul so great. Don't get me wrong, I watched it and loved it, but it honestly didn't strike me as anything special. Personally, Noragami and Zakyo no Terra are higher up on my list, but once again, this is just me.
Okay, Shannon, let's back up. Megan, take it.
Megan, you can
Alrighty,
take
nerds.
this.
All right, nerds.
Try not to go too long. Do a short answer.
I will try to keep myself condensed. Basically, there are a lot of people who think Tokyo Ghoul is overhyped, Arcada being one of them, and trust me, I disagree with him as much as I respect Arcada. For me, I think that Tokyo Ghoul is a series that, one, how Sailor Moon caters to Robin, Tokyo Ghoul caters to me. That's why I really like it. It's my favorite anime now. Tokyo Ghoul exists on a plane that not everything is readily answered. You are assuming things. You are put through a ringer from character development that's very subtle with action over it. And the example I used when we first read this question, I believe it was just Robin and Ellie and I, was the picture that Robin uses for it is one of Kaneki, where you see him with his mask, but his shadow has his Kagune. Everybody likes to focus on the shadow, because the shadow has the Kagune, the interesting part, which is everybody likes to focus on the action of Tokyo Ghoul as a show. They focus on the action. They focus on everything that is bright and shiny and colorful and catches your eye and readily grabs you. Tokyo Ghoul does not succeed because of the bright, shiny aspects of the Tokyo Ghoul. Tokyo Ghoul succeeds because it's subtle and it does character development better than any series that came out this year. And I say that with the highest recommendation of I love character development. Kaneki Ken goes on a journey from episode 1 to episode 12 that is both incredibly explicit in the changes that he makes and incredibly implicit on what it makes. And if you to quickly define explicit and implicit, explicit is basically everything that you can see and hear and is readily explained to you. Implicit is everything they're implying and that you have to go digging for. And that's what makes Tokyo Ghoul work. Tokyo Ghoul makes you work for everything. It's not a series that wants to give you the answers all the way. It's not a series that exists to give you the answers all the way. This is coming from someone who's read the manga. Nothing you want to happen happens. It happens on the accord of the way that the series is written by its original author, who is a freaking madman. It's great because of that, because it exists in such a gray morality instead of black and white, in that things can be open-ended and things that can be just not explained. And I think as a fan base, especially a lot of it recently, we're so ready to just take whatever's given to us so that we know in the end, oh, this is going to be explained. Real world does not work like that. And it's why I like the series so much. It reminds me of other films I've watched that have open endings, that have things that aren't always explained, but they're there if you go looking hard enough for it. It's just like the way that ghouls are perceived. If you remember in the first episode, Hide and Kaneki don't know Toka's a ghoul. They take for granted what's on the surface. It's a series that wants you to sit there and dig into it and to eat and to consume. And that's why I think a lot of people think it's overhyped and stuff, because it's not that I think that everyone's a lazy viewer, but a lot of people can be very lazy and don't want to go the whole 9 yards. I've rewatched the show like 6 times and I found things new in it. And that's what I appreciate about the show and why I think the show is so good. And it's not that I don't see those things in Zanko no Terror and Origami. It's just that they're a little more obvious. And I like the fact that Tokyo Ghoul isn't as obvious.
That's actually a really good explanation.
Exactly.
May I go?
Mm-hmm.
Make it quick.
Okay, before Megan and I had this sit down, because we had to sit down about this, because before I wanted Zanko no Terror as number 1, before Parasite came into the picture, but Megan came to me and sat me down and gave me that same question about the whole finding answers and are we just fine with just giving whatever is given to us. By the end of Zanko no Terror, I was satisfied with the answers. I mean, the only answer that still was questioning about was like, was what happened the right way to do things? But it did kind of sum everything up, which I'm happy about, but it made me rethink some things. And so in the end, I decided, and with the manga, I sided with Tokyo Ghoul because it's really, really good. Do I believe it's overhyped? I believe it got hype syndrome. Not it's overhyped. It's just a victim to the hype train. Do I think does it think it gets all the hype? It deserves the hype. It just, you know what happens. It's like with all those other shows that get the hype. Some deserve that hype, but it's just the fact that it has hype just makes it weird. And when read in the manga, it has a really nice, it becomes a lot more obvious about this thinking process. That's why I congratulate Megan on getting her point across, because that's good.
And I'll say this too about it. Coming into
Sorry.
summer 2014, be honest with yourself, how many of us here actually had heard of Tokyo Ghoul? Be completely honest. I know I fucking didn't.
I didn't. That's because I don't stay up to date with anime.
Robin,
but
did you
I
hear
did.
about it before it came out, before I had seen it?
No.
Shannon?
Nope.
I think I might have
Exactly.
seen it on the list,
I think
but,
all
like,
of us in the summer season were hearing about things like Zonkyo no Terror because of who freaking writes it. It's freaking
Watanabe.
Watanabe, who Space Dandy 2. We all knew it was coming because Space Dandy 1. Sailor Moon Crystal. There was a lot more things coming out. Andala Zero because of Genru Robochi was attached to it. Tokyo Ghoul got hype because people were spreading it were spreading by word of mouth. It kind of became a Tumblr darling, which is a weird thing. Free Eternal Summer also goes on to the hype train. But Tokyo Ghoul, I honestly didn't see people starting to pick up Tokyo Ghoul till like episode 6 or 7 was out, which was half the series. So it became a hype train because people were getting into it.
Okay, we need to start wrapping it up and moving on.
Anyway, let's go.
All right. Jared Knight is asking, I've been thinking about checking out Agame ga Kill, and these awards are definitely boosting my interest. Is it really worth the watch? P.S. I'm fully aware of the gore, so I don't need a warning for that.
Can I start this one off?
Yeah, because
All right, let's try and make these quick. Let's try and answer these quick so we're not like 2 hours.
Okay.
Sorry. I wanted to answer this first because during which I had read the manga as well. Okay, so it's actually really pretty good. But the problem is what happening is that there's a different kind of contradiction. Akame ga Kill right now is suffering from SAO contradicting, where it deviated around episode 14. It deviated from the manga in a huge way and in an anime only ending. So a lot of people were mad about. But when you sit down and you just forget, if you're a manga reader, if you just sat down and forgot the manga was there, it actually was a good way to tell the story. I mean, yeah, the animation could have been done better. And to a point, certain characters could have had a little bit more rubbing out in terms of the anime was concerned. But all in all, it had a good conclusion, despite the fact a lot of people started hating it after a certain part. And I know why people don't like it, because another thing is that this is kind of not a spoiler. Something happens in the anime that people are scared might spoil the manga. But if you're just an anime only watcher, then I say it's really good. I just say be open-minded to it if you've done both. I'm good.
In my short opinion, episode one will grab you. That's all I have to say.
I can't really say, I was kind of the same with Robin, but to the point that Shannon was making about things deviating, you know what? If it's still well written, fuck it.
All right, next question. Alistair Hyde. Excellent compilation. Can't wait to see you handle 2015. By the way, do you recommend any place to watch anime in particular?
Crunchyroll, Daisuki.net, Hulu,
Hulu.
Funimation.com. There's your answer. Legal streaming sites.
Yep, there you go. All right. Anyone else want to add to that that's legal?
Write stuff if you want to buy stuff.
Yeah, you want to buy it, write stuff.
Yeah, because even though it's cheaper to stream it, I just like having an anime nerd shelf. So buying stuff has kind of been my thing.
They're asking for streaming because like they want to say.
Oh, okay. For streaming, yeah, Crunchyroll. My goal is that if you have a busy schedule and you don't want to pay for premium, probably wait till the anime's halfway done and then start the anime you want to watch. That way you don't feel as backed up, because they don't really show it as early as other sites like Hulu or Netflix has done really good for dubs.
Yeah, Netflix if you want to watch in English. My only complaint about all those sites I did is I said Daisuki.net. God, I fucking hate that website. They also put it on YouTube after the whole thing is on there. They're currently doing Kuroko season 3. But Daisuki.net, that will be the same day it airs, and it just plays some ads, and obviously we all know what Hulu does. So, next question.
Next question.
Oh, wait.
All right.
I forgot one more. There's also Neon Alley. That's a new thing. It's Neon Alley's pretty good if you still want to do scheduled stuff. And YouTube, some places have like Funimation itself has all the subbed episodes on YouTube. If you want to do that.
All right. Next up, Archangel Nashan. I am sorry if I pronounced that wrong. So I have 2 questions on this video. Where did you get your information on Unlimited Blade Works? I was in the understanding it's a separate route from the Fate series, not a remake. 2. What was your reasoning on not including No Game, No Life in any of the categories? Go.
Oh,
Well,
the Blade Works.
Megan.
The Fate Stay Night one's mine, because that was me. From what I understood, I thought it was... That might have just been a goof on my end, because I was the one who pushed for Fate Stay Night, thinking that it was just a remake of the original Fate Stay Night anime.
You and
But
Kenny.
apparently, if it is a separate route, my bad.
You and Kenny pushed for it to be the best remake.
Yeah. If in all honesty, it said Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works, I assumed that the Stay Night meant it was a remake of Stay Night, guys. And if apparently it's not, my bad. I really don't follow Type Moon games. And No Game No Life, I kind of was meh to No Game No Life, so there's that.
So
It had
the
a
one that
brick
thought it was
wall
about
ending.
incest.
Well,
I mean, the animation was great. The concept was really fresh. I was so happy for that kind of story, even though we've kind of seen it before in a certain way. But like, how should I say? It kind of happened to the same fate as Arata Kongatari before Arata Kongatari finally got announced for a season 2. It was advertised the manga type of anime. You know what I'm talking about, where like there's an anime for one season, but they never really go anywhere. They kind of just end it right there. Like they have all these plans. Point A, save this. Point B, save this. Point C. But by the end of the anime, they only do point A. And you never know if they're going to make another series or not. It was so brick wally, where it just smacks you with the face with the ending. I was like, where's the rest? And Irata Kongatari got me mad with that too. But there's a season 2 now coming up, so that was my big thing with it.
Okay, next up.
All right. Zodia195. I have a question. All right. You guys, let's try to not make this a long one, because this could go on. This could be this could be a long explanation. What is the difference between thriller and horror? Aren't they technically the same thing?
Didn't we just answer that?
we already answered this.
Not necessarily. You answered that for another show. They're actually wondering what's the difference between the two. Because they're saying that aren't they the same thing, but they're thinking that the categories are the same thing, is what they're saying.
No, they're not. I guess I'll explain this.
Short
Alright.
versions.
TLDR, I'm sorry for the chewing sound. TLDR, horror usually denotes that there is some... It doesn't mean there has to be a supernatural element. It usually has a supernatural element, and tends to rely more on jump scares, sometimes psychological stuff. Think of things like Halloween and Nosferatu and stuff. Thriller tends to be a lot more psychological. It doesn't necessarily have to have a supernatural stuff. Tends to potentially work on a time schedule, and it can have action and it can't have action. And horror tends to also usually have a bit more gore. So there's that.
Think of thrillers like a time limit or a bomb that's about to go off and you need to save your child from like impending doom, or like Inception to a point.
Yeah.
All of those, I gotta do this. I gotta do this. It makes your blood pumping, wanting them to do this. It's like an action-y movie. It's an action-y movie without
As much action.
Horror.
And tends to
Alright.
be a bit more
Thriller,
political.
psychological, horror, scary. Moving on.
All right. Christopher Darkstone. How did Dramatical Murder make both disappointing and best sci-fi runner-up? Is it runner-up second place? Somehow second place for sci-fi doesn't sound like a disappointing anime to me.
Oh, this one's all me.
Go ahead.
Basically, DMMD had a lot of really good sci-fi element-y things to it, like robot dogs and scrap and stuff. DMMD also fails to actually use things like character development, logic, animation, and the fact that it basically made what is a very explicit 18-plus boys love game into a shonen show.
Mm-hmm.
And we can all officially say this now. You cannot take a heavily, heavily explicit game like DMMD. I mean heavily explicit. Go Google some shit for this thing.
You have to be 18 years or older.
Please be 18
I'm not
years
condoning anyone under 18 to go look this up. Because I'm not going to get in trouble for your parents.
It basically, as I explained this to Robin, because I wanted to say the reason DMMD anime disappoints me is because they took all the sex out. Basically, because I know poor Ellie and poor Robin have sat through this, and so has poor Shannon. Ellie, how long did it take us to do Minx Route? About 4 hours. It took us 4 hours to go through one dude. One! They pretty much condensed all of the character development, all of the decisions, all of everything into one episode, little bites. 5 times over. Completely taking out things like oh, can't say it. Spoilers, because Ellie's not played that route and we're playing it with her. So it takes out a lot of spoilery things that I can't say involving other characters. And /B, episode 3 is a fucking train wreck. There we go.
So but it had good sci-fi. But it had good sci-fi.
It had good science fiction. It had a lot of amusing technology that we all were fascinated by. For example, I want Ren. I want that puppy.
I want a talking dog.
I want a talking puppy.
We want
also,
talking
we
animals.
have a genetically created protagonist born to somebody attached by his hair and can enter people's minds with his voice. Tell me that's not good. That's not interesting sci-fi.
Exactly. So the science fiction behind Dramatical Murder was brilliant. That doesn't mean it made it an interesting story.
Here's the thing, SAO.
It had amazing
SAO
technology.
was runner-up for like best action one year, and we still put it as the most disappointing thing I've ever watched.
Oh, Sword Art Online?
Yeah, I believe Sword Art Online like won a category and got best and most disappointing.
It got like best song. It got runner-up for best art. It got a lot of awards, and yet we still put it under runner-up for most disappointing because it was really disappointing. Like we were geared out towards something exciting, and it ended up being nothing.
Harem 2.0.
Sword Art Online characters. Grab your disposable female characters.
Oh.
And with that, move to the next one.
Wait, can I say something real quick about this one before we move on?
What?
It's not gonna be like more than 5 sentences, right?
No, it's not gonna be more than 5 sentences. Okay, DMND's experience was basically like the very watered down flat Coca-Cola you get at a very cheap restaurant. Just because it looks like a big Coke for $1 doesn't mean it tastes like a big fizzy Coke for $1.
Hey, but at least the OVAs have them kissing. And butts.
And butts. So, next question. And you're going to probably rant on this one, Megan.
Oh, I wrote a question to say too.
I don't know. Sudi Tootie. Tokyo Ghoul was even remotely near the same place as Parasite and Shigatsu. What type of community do we really fucking have if Ghoul is on the same level as Parasite?
I'm out.
I'm out.
Did you not see the fact that we gave Parasite #1 and Tokyo Ghoul's #3? Just because you don't like the show doesn't mean other people don't like it and praise it. And trust me, a lot of the community frickin' praises Tokyo Ghoul.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. Just because you don't frickin' like it doesn't mean it's a shitty anime. Trust me. I don't like... God, I'm trying to think of a popular anime that isn't SAO because there's a lot of people I know that like SAO. What is it? I don't necessarily like...
Italia?
No, I like Italia, though. I'm trying to think of an anime.
Sailor Moon Crystal, because I don't necessarily like it, even though it's a good anime.
No, I'm not using Sailor Moon Crystal. Bad example.
Black Butler. No.
No, I like Black Butler.
No,
Just stick with Sword Art.
No, I'm not using Sword Art. I refuse to use Sword Art. Okay, let's go with this. I don't necessarily like... I'm just going to use an example. I necessarily don't like Gurren Lagann or something, I'm gonna say. Because I think Gurren Lagann is a good anime. I wouldn't put it up in my favorite animes of all time. I wouldn't actively go seek to watch Gurren Lagann if I was bored. Doesn't mean I don't think Gurren Lagann's freaking fantastic. I'm sorry. Just because I don't necessarily put Gurren Lagann as my favorite thing on earth, or I don't think Gurren Lagann really... Gurren Lagann is also a shitty fucking example for this. God. I can't say... I honestly can't think of a show that I can put this to.
I can think of one.
What?
Well, no. This is... Are we talking about, like... For
Oh, here we go.
Everybody
Here we go.
loves...
I got it. No, I got it now. Because you said the first one. Just because I don't like Anohana doesn't mean I don't think Anohana is a good anime.
I agree with you.
I was waiting for that.
I agree with you.
Just because I don't like Anohana doesn't mean I don't think Anohana is a good anime. I'm sorry. I'm not going to condemn the community for liking Anohana. I'm sorry. I'm not going to do that.
This is
Do I condemn the community for praising Sword Art Online too much? Yeah, because I think Sword Art Online has a lot of fucked up things going on for it.
Same thing with me and Barakamon.
Yeah, there we go. Robin and Barakamon. Answer solved.
All right. This one is from Sora Lover 1994. Of course, she had a very long comment. I'm sorry, I'm not going to read it all. And we love your rants, we do, but it's a really long comment. So I'm just going to read your question. So,
wow, that's a long comment.
What would your exact... Oh, wait, we already answered on the Pupa. What would your exact thoughts be on the show like Pupa? Or I think Golden Time was still airing in 2014.
It won something last year, Golden Time.
Pupa, what the fuck?
So they want to know she wants to know your exact thoughts on Pupa and Golden Time. I think it's still airing. Pretty sure it doesn't count since it started earlier.
Yeah, it doesn't count.
No, it does not count.
And Pupa
Or
is
even
poop.
Akuma no Riddle.
Meh.
Were you going to do a review for No Game, No Life?
If anything, this is a good time to announce that we might be doing a fan requested month where we ask you guys which anime you want us to review, and the most popular request will be getting selected, and we will keep our word on it. I'm gonna like type up everything and then record it all, and I know once I have all that recorded footage, I can edit like that. So I'm gonna make a separate announcement. The fan suggested reviews, just pick an anime, leave a comment, and we will review it if it's popular enough.
I will say this. I do owe somebody a review.
Okay.
From a while back. So that certain review is halfway done.
Why do I have a feeling if we do this, Clonaut's going to be number one?
So also, what are your exact thoughts on Akuma no Riddle?
Meh.
I thought it was okay. Meh.
And
That's all you need
Pupa?
to know.
Oh, we already said Pupa. What the fuck?
Pupa is poop.
Alrighty then, there we go.
Pupa is
And
poop.
you have everyone's exact thoughts on all of it. Do you guys want to answer your exact thoughts on Golden Time or?
Oh, that was last year.
That was
was
last
last
year,
year?
but it's cute.
It's cute.
Okay. Next question. Mage Craze. Why no top OVA shows?
Because OVAs
the list
are
is long
really
enough.
weird, and we don't know when they're coming out. And I'll give you a hint: OVAs don't hit streaming sites.
They really don't.
They don't.
OVAs are kind
don't.
of hard to find.
Do you
Or
understand how long I have been waiting to see the Nakoma OVA for Haikyuu? It's still not fucking online, and it aired in November.
I'm gonna say this, or sometimes some things can be considered an OVA, and no one really notices. Like to a point, Sailor Moon is considered Crystal's considered an OVA. Yes, I know I touched there, but to a point, it is considered an OVA.
All right, let's not go there. Anyone else want to mention on that, or are we good?
The list
Don't
is long
fucking
enough.
Haikyuu
Moving on.
OVA.
All right. Anime-loving bagpiper. I turn on the video, super excited, and bam, Robin's pick. Me rolling on floor laughing. I knew it. Question for Q&A video. What criteria did you use to make most of the decisions? Were there titles that fit all the criterias, but were put to like third place in categories because of a certain je ne sais quoi?
Let me
If you
answer
could have
that.
added the remake sequel to the category they were kept out of, where would they rank?
Let
Ooh,
me
that's
answer
actually
this.
a really good question.
This is a really good question, guys. Let's try not to make it too long. So
Yeah.
All three of us. can
choose
do
like
this.
one remake or sequel that you like and put it on a category that you would have wanted it to be in, but it couldn't be in. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Give me an
Damn you,
example.
person.
Huh?
I'm going dirt brain. Give me an example.
Damn you, person.
Let's see.
Okay.
For the
A
criteria.
sequel, free 2. Free the sequel. Where would
I
you have put that in a different category if it could count?
That's me. I'd probably put it as runner-up best sports because I don't, as much as I adore Free Season 2, I don't think it has the quality of Haikyuu in terms of just, Haikyuu is honestly one of the most likable anime I've ever watched. I always, at
Haikyuu
points I
for-
felt like I wanted to grab Haruka by the neck and shake him and scream at him while also coddling him. I think it was. I would have put it under Haikyuu for like slight things, but I probably would have put it up as runner-up best sports, and that would have been my thing. And then
I would agree because Haikyuu concentrated more on the sport as to where Free Eternal Summer concentrated more on where they're going to go from there.
yeah, I actually learned shit about volleyball. Fucking learned
Alright,
shit.
Haikyuu, you
If
learn
we're
things.
also we're talking about sequels that we thought could have been somewhere, but
Like
they
if the
couldn't.
sequels could have been.
Yes. What was
somewhere.
your favorite sequel? And if you could have put it in any category, where would you put it?
Okay, I'm gonna cop out and say Psychopaths 2 because I would not shut up about Psychopaths 2 for about 3 months, and I would have put it at sci-fi. I'm sorry, Megan. I really would have.
Okay,
Honestly-
Robin, your favorite sequel, and where would you put it?
Since she had Free, since Megan chose Free, definitely Black Butler, Book of Circus. It was the most, like, thank God it was made. I'm gonna make a review of that later on. But thank goodness for Black Butler, Book of Circus. You saved the Black Butler anime franchise. I'm hoping for more series like that. I would have put it under maybe it's hard, like best art, run out for best artwork maybe, or fantasy.
You would have put it up runner-up best fantasy. Honestly.
Yeah, it's like it has this drama aspect, but fantasy definitely.
Okay, and what criteria do you use to make most of the decisions?
Let me start.
Yeah, you
Got
go
it.
first. I go second.
We watch every title within the required timeline, which is winter to fall, because the new lineup always the new year always starts in winter. So we start from there, finish it, and from there we look at our categories and decide, okay, which one reigns supreme in those categories, and we base it off of story, character, animation, and the overall presentation. This year, instead of repeating awards for certain categories, we kept the genre categories such as comedy, drama, action, fantasy, sci-fi to one genre per anime. And when it came to the ranking categories, which was friendship, male character, female character, songs, opening, and best and worst, we went with multiple titles because, we really felt that, for those ranking categories, we need the best of that category. Which like, a lot of you were complaining that Your Lie in April got too many awards. Well, I'm sorry. There was no other better song better than, Hikaru no...
Hikaru Nara.
Hikaru Nara was like one of the best songs of the year. It was the best opening of the year. It had the most impressive artwork. It could have been best of the year if Parasite wasn't around. I know Parasite deserved more awards, but that's just how Your Lie in April was. Like, it had the better characters, it had the better artwork. Story-wise, it still went to Parasite.
Parasite was the comeback hit of the year because that was a 90s manga.
80s.
With
80s.
80s. Whoa, 80s.
It's 30 years old.
Most old manga don't even get an anime. And
Okay, let's stay on topic.
I would say
Decision
also,
making. Decision making is is what we're on. Let's not get onto let's not get onto things. Decision making.
I would say also things that go into decision. I mean, we would be liars if we don't put a little bit of favoritism in it. We try to be as objective as possible, but there are some times where we get very passionate about things. awkward.
Don't get us started on the arguments.
Yeah, do not
Arguments.
get it. Trust me, you don't want to hear things.
We've had some very steamed up arguments.
We're very passionate about what we do. I think also we tend to go for things that maybe we haven't seen before, or that maybe execute an old concept better than we've ever seen it. So I think that's something that we also do.
Alright. The last part of this question, we're going to break it down. The last question we need to answer is, were there titles that fit all criteria but were put to like third place in the category because of a certain je ne sais quoi? So
Yona
pick
the
an
Dawn.
anime that fit all the criteria for you but was put into third place for a certain reason.
Megan, you
I'll
start.
go first. I'll say Yona of the Dawn. I honestly thought Yona of the Dawn could have gotten best runner-up best fantasy maybe, and runner-up best action. I just felt that what was our runner-up? I think our runner-up fantasy was a Kame ga Kill, right?
No, fantasy runner-up was it's still
The World is Still Beautiful.
The World's Still Beautiful.
To me, I think Yona of the Dawn could have gotten runner-up best fantasy because I enjoy vaguely not Korea action adventure with Dragon Boys and stuff. Just Yona of the Dawn kind of bit the bullet being a fall anime, and unfortunately that's the problem.
But that's
That
just
was its
it.
problem.
Like, with
And-
you saying that, we could have waited to do the anime awards till all the episodes were done.
Which we, unfortunately, at that point, we don't know when Yona of the Dawn's gonna end, thank you. I have no idea when Yona of the Dawn's anime is ending. It could go on for like 56 episodes for all I fucking know. But, I think that Yona of the Dawn, for me personally too, again, I really didn't feel the story picked up till about episode 5 or 6. Or, spoiler alert, when they pick up Yoon, the Bishonen one, that's when the show got better to me. When they picked
Alright.
him up as a character. That's
Robin?
why it didn't get farther up on the list for fantasy.
All right, Robin, what was yours that got number 3?
I'm still picking mine. Shannon, you go.
Personally, I actually would have loved to see Hanya Yamata, as it got to me third place with Slice of Life, because
You mean school?
it had really good art, it had really good music, but it fell short after episode 5. Because after a while, the colorfulness and artwork and that song was addictive. But it didn't really hold much water after a few episodes later on to me. That was weirdly the anime that gave me the same problem that Robin had with Barakamon. Not with the whole same thing we've seen before, it just kind of fell short after a bit.
I can't really pick one because like Noragami got best fantasy, Space Dandy got best comedy. Can't really. Maybe. Well, Parasite got best overall, and it got best. It got best thriller. God. I can't.
If you don't have one, that's okay.
I mean, horror.
I don't have one.
Maybe. I really don't. I don't have one that got like there were a lot of titles that could have gotten third place for the ranking categories. Like Yona could have been best female third place. Ryoma from Love Stage could have gotten best male character if Kaneki and Kosei did not exist, because the things that Ryoma did for Izumi were just like, oh my god, you lovable teddy bear, you are an incredible human being. But that's like for the ranking categories, because everything that I liked pretty much got a genre award or a runner-up award for the genres. So I can't really pick one, and it's biting me like.
It's okay, Robin. I don't have one.
Yeah. But yeah, there were a lot of contenders for the ranking ones. That's why 2014 was really hard.
All right. The next question is from Ruth Ellen, and actually, Megan, this one's for you.
Oh, this is the question I've been waiting for.
OMG, number 1 was a surprise. A great one, though. Okay, if you're making an answer video, maybe you can address how you think Tokyo Ghoul got the 3 spot. I thought it was rather rushed and clunky. Didn't feel much connection between Kaneki and Toka, or between anybody, really. I thought they were all okay, except for Kaneki. Maybe Megan can answer, since she really adores the show.
I've slightly answered this earlier. Basically, to me, the show, it is a good ensemble show. It focuses a lot more on Kaneki because it's, again, Kaneki's story and Kaneki's mindset. It's how all of this is affecting him as a character. It's also very, very subtle, and like I said before, if you're not digging around and not looking around for things, and you're expecting answers to pop up, you're not going to get this. And I think I'm actually going to... Robin, I know you said you were going to answer this in the comments, but I'm going to kind of bring this up a little bit. Saying how Kaneki and Toka don't connect. Of course they're not going to connect. They're definitely not going to connect. Part of the thing that very, very much gets cleared mid on, Kaneki very much insults Toka the first time they meet with him as a halfling. He says her life is horrible. He says very rude, naive things because he doesn't know better. Because this is the world he's not introduced to. There are going to be disconnects. There's going to be gray. You don't get along with every person you meet in life, especially if you're thrown into a station like a sensation like Kaneki Ken. That's the point of character development. This show focused a lot more on Kaneki more than the side characters. Is that a bit of a detriment? Yes, but for me, the strength in Tokyo Ghoul does also lie in Kaneki's character development. And one thing I will say, I think it's in episode 8, I believe it's in 7 or 8, is after Toka does something incredibly dumb, the incredibly dumb thing she does that Robin dislikes her for. Kaneki outright tells her, you did something really dumb. I can't condone what you did, but I can see why you did it. And I'm not going to support you killing innocent people doing their job. However, I see why you did it, and that to me is what the show exemplifies what I mean by you have to go digging for things. Because it's not a straight answer he gives her. And it's not a straight answer the show's going to give you. Are there points where it's clunky? Yes, but they also took out... I believe they adapted the first 64 chapters of the manga into 12 episodes. They took out a lot of really quiet character moments for the sake of time, which, do I agree with them doing? Yes and no, but it was doing different things that the anime wanted as opposed to the manga, which... Again, I'm rereading the series right now, so I can get back to later on that. But I think it's a really good show for what it was doing and how subtle it does it. Listen to the rather long answer I gave before. So that's partially why.
All right. Next question is from SweetBee1515. Hey, I was wondering a few things, and sorry if I may be asked for some of these, but still. Which categories were remakes and sequels not allowed in? For most disappointing, I was wondering how you personally felt on Miko City Actors in terms of the artwork, song, and actual storyline, so I could possibly see the reasoning behind why you called it more disappointing than Dramatical Murder or even Pupa. I'm never going to pronounce that right.
Pupa.
Why that matter? Why trying not to be all bitchy? Didn't Zankyo no Terra didn't become one of your top animes of the year?
I guess, Shannon, I guess the Makaku City Actors one is all my fault, guys. I guess I get to answer that one.
We agreed with you with the Makaku City Actors one.
What?
We agreed with you on the Makaku City Actors, but the first question was, where did sequels and remakes and not fit in? That would be the genre categories, because that's like best action, romance, comedy, fantasy, sci-fi, blah, 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 blah. And... if you were a sequel or a remake, you have your own category. Every other category belonged to original content. So best artwork, that sequel could have had a chance for best artwork in its own year when it was first released, not for that. And it's up for sequel or remake or even song or opening themes, because any song or opening theme that's made, or opening and ending credits that's made in that year, we'll give it credit if it's that good. But for story, we're not going to give it any awards because it's just a continuation of something that's already been done.
I guess I get to do this one next. But why is
okay. Can I say something about Makaku City Actors?
What?
It was disappointing. It was just overall disappointing. I can't understand. The art was nice and the songs were nice, but to me, it lacked. Like, I couldn't even keep up with it. I got so bored. I was expecting so much more from it,
All of us were with the music videos and the stories behind it. We were expecting something grand.
I
from the
was so
Park City actors.
confused.
I guess I get to take this now.
I was disappointed. There's what I'm going to say about it.
So I'm going to take this one now. I'm a huge, huge fan of the Kagero Project, which is what this is based off of. I got more enjoyment and more satisfaction and a more coherent story out of 12 music videos than I did a 12-episode anime animated by Studio fucking Shaft, who made Madoka, who made Madoka, who made Sayonara Zetsubo Sensei, who make, as much as it's pretentious otaku fodder fuel, the Monogatari franchise. I expected out of them some of their top-notch work. Don't even get me fucking started on the CGI bullshit that was Ayano's Theory of Happiness, which is my second favorite song in the series. Do I have a lot of angry feelings of this towards the fan? Yes. And here's the other thing. I don't care if it's not an exact adaptation, because this is an expansion onto the crazy-ass timeline that is Kage Pro. Even then, parts of the story were lazily written. It was confusing. Some of the characters came off as utterly unlikable. The finale episode was rushed and contradicted the original message of the series. It was so disappointed. And you know what? You really even can't say the music on its own is good, because essentially the music was already out there. It had been done a year ago with the Kagero Project videos, and some of them looked nicer than the frickin' anime did. Ayano's Theory of Happiness, the music video, looks 10 times better than some of the anime episodes frickin' did. It was a disappointment because there was so much hype behind it. And I really, really, really like the show. I have it as my number 5 favorite anime of the year, tied with Dramatical Murder. But it doesn't mean I'm not unhappy with how it went on. I think, as I said on my own personal Facebook one time, it felt like Studio Shaft didn't give a fuck about the series because it was in between another Monogatari franchise, which gets them all their fucking money.
It's like my feels with Sailor Moon Crystal and Toei.
Basically, I adore Studio Shaft. I love Madoka, but I felt gypped as a fucking fan of Kage Pro. It was kind of a big smack in the face. And again, I hate, of all things, to be disappointed.
All right. And the last part of that question, why didn't Zaku no Terra, why didn't it become a top anime of the year?
My turn. Okay. Why wasn't it even in the top? Okay, what were the top 5 again?
Space Dandy, Haikyuu, Tokyo Ghoul, Your Lie in April, and Parasite.
Funny story about this. So I wanted to talk about how I wanted Zeki no Terror in the top 5. But then, when we were talking about the anime award, while they were talking about the anime awards, I just fell asleep on my own. So I couldn't really put my case there. But like after I kind of got back into the swing after I woke up and we talked about things, I kind of let it slide because I had to go back and watch some things. To me, 2014 was a really good year for anime. So it just fell short by a smidget behind something because I like Parasite. I was glad Parasite went over Tokyo Ghoul. No offense, Megan.
I know.
And I love Tokyo Ghoul because me and Megan are Tokyo nuts. But Your Lie in April, not my favorite kind of genre, but I really like Your Lie in April's music, and Space Dandy. It's fucking Space Dandy.
Space Dandy, honestly, I think Space Dandy is a better written Watanabe series. Just saying. They're both Watanabe. I think Space Dandy was better.
True, yeah, when I looked at it, it's like Watanabe knew he wasn't taking himself seriously when he was doing Space Dandy, and I was like, oh my god. It's like, would I rather watch another story that... Would I rather have a story that's really heartfelting and true to him like he did with Cowboy Bebop, or do I want something completely new from Watanabe?
I want Space Dandy's drugs.
I want Space
Dandy. I'll put it to you this way.
So that's what happened.
I'll put it to you this way. I like Ellie would when we suggest anime to Ellie, sometimes she goes meh, and with my husband, when I try to get him into an anime, he's not interested in it. And it took me a while to convince him about Space Dandy. And so I'm just like, he's like, usually when you recommend me stuff, I'm like, I know, but this one is different. This is by the creator of Cowboy Bebop, Samurai Champloo. You're going to love it if you love Cowboy Bebop. And the next thing I know, he's like 20 episodes in. He's like, okay, you're right.
Yeah.
Next question.
Hold on, I was going to say something.
Oh,
Okay.
sorry.
It's okay. I know I don't often say anything. My thing with animes, and I'm probably one of the harshest critics when it comes to anime.
Yep.
I think y'all know that.
Yep.
I do not like a lot of new animes, and for me, this is the reason why I don't judge this, because half the animes that are even winners, I don't even like. But my thing is if I can get into an anime, then holy crap, I can get into an anime. The top picks for this year, I actually got into. That never happens.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of says something. I have looked into Zakyo no Terra. You want to know something? It was okay. I didn't feel like it was Watanabe, because I know you said it's by him. I didn't even know it was by him, and it doesn't feel like him. Space Dandy feels like him. But that's how I kind of feel about it.
My
So-
personal. Oh,
There, we are 1 hour and 40 minutes into this, so let's wrap this up. Any more questions?
It's
many
probably
more-
going to be cut up.
How many more questions are there?
There are 6 more questions.
All right,
Let's
let's
hurry
try to
this
do
up.
this.
All right. If you want to skip the question, let me know, okay?
I'll
Yeah.
let you know.
And then you can just cut it out after editing. AwesomeX35. Any comments on how Akame ga Kill adaptation diverted from the manga so much it killed off character that were supposed to stay alive?
We
I think,
already answered
I think
that.
Shannon answered this.
Did we answer this?
that.
Yes.
I
Okay.
answered it, but I didn't want to bring spoilers, so we're skipping that one. I'm not talking about spoilers. No.
All right.
We
Jessica
will
Klein.
if you're not satisfied with that, we'll answer your question in the comments below.
All right. I don't even know if this is you guys. If this is a question for you guys, I don't know. I actually loved Love Stage. I binge watched it in a weekend. It was cute, and it had me on the edge of the seat, and me thinking, "Oh wait, no, that's not a question. My bad."
We love Love Stage 2. Moving on.
All right. Lennox Tatsu. How does? Oh, does anyone else think that Lion April got too many awards?
We
It was
answered-
that
we answered
good.
We answered that, but we'll answer it again. It is that good.
That good.
It's
Yes,
that good.
it's that good. Oh my
Best
gosh.
song, best opening, best characters.
The feels.
Second place, the feels. The like just
Feels, bro.
just how they, animate his fears conquering over him. Just the illumination of that. You're just like, oh, this is such a gripping story.
I'm
Alright.
really hoping that one question that Robin sent me makes it on here.
You'll probably answer it anyways.
Boy, do I want to yell.
What question was it? Because it's probably not on here.
Something
The
about
why
Kaneki
did
Ken.
Kaneki get best male character question?
Oh, I didn't put it on here.
Fuck!
Just
There's
do
been a
it.
lot of Tokyo Ghoul questions.
Because
There
I'm
is
the
a lot
only
of
one who
Tokyo.
likes it!
All right, why did Kaneki get most male character?
Best
That-
Best male character. Because there's somebody who's like, I don't like Kaneki. And look, you're entitled to your own opinion. You really are. You don't see characters like Kaneki Ken written very often. Especially in shows like Tokyo Ghoul, which are basically seinen shonen. I could do an entire video if I wanted to on how Kaneki Ken is basically a giant middle finger to most shonen protagonists. If I wanted to. Seriously, holy shit, the character development he goes through. That's all I'm leaving it at. Look at how subtle it is compared to other shonen leads. And you will be amazed by how much that the writing gets done in a quarter of a time that most other series do. There's my answer.
All right. There's your answer. I'm sorry I don't have your name for that one. I'm going through to see which questions are really good. All right. Elias Hiojelstad. Okay, I'm really sorry. I can't pronounce that. I'm bad at pronouncing stuff. Seriously. No Setokai Yaku ni Doma for comedy?
Which one was
Yeah.
that one?
Setokai.
Spell it.
Seitokia. Yaku Indomo.
Wait, I got it. Let me get a picture.
Is that the...
Oh, that one.
Which one?
Well,
The other wait, is that the yes?
Is that the chastity belt ghost one?
No.
About to say
No. Okay, this is that school anime that I almost got mixed up with the incest anime. No, it's just a school life anime. The reason I don't talk about it is because two things. One, when someone talks about it, I get it mixed up with the other anime that looks exactly like it, but it has incest in it. And two, the animation to me with chibis can be kind of lackluster. I mean, there's comedy, and then they're just sticking it in your face. I don't like talking about that one.
Okay.
all right. And that actually looks like it's going to wrap it up.
If you're not satisfied with any of the answers, we'll just leave a comment down below. We'll answer it.
If we didn't get to you, sorry. I tried to get as many comments off of YouTube, but again, this is turning into like a 2-3 hour video that we didn't want it to.
Pretty much.
So, if we don't answer your question, we're sorry, but
we'll
we
answer them
tried.
down below. Yeah.
So,
Thank
I
you.
will say, just think of that last show. Think of Haruhi Uzumaya to a point, but a lot more pervier.
You can't deter us on Space Dandy, because he's a dandy guy in space, and he's all about the booty.
Boobies up, boobies go.
Ooh,
Up and down.
why did they have
up
to
and
remind me
down,
about
up
this
and
show?
down.
Oh.
so anyways, I actually have to use the bathroom.
Go pee, have fun.
Right, but first, thank you guys so much for listening on our very long conversation about answering your questions. Coming up will be more top 10 lists. I will be announcing the fan requested months where we will do reviews as by request. Because we do a lot of new titles for you guys, but if there's any one that you want us to do, we'll try to do them if they are popular enough for 1 month, and then we're going to move on. So coming up will be that, more top 10 lists, and the reviews. It's a little vague, but we're working on stuff.
Also, if we've already done the review, we'll send you the video if you comment about it. I'm just going to say that now because there's a lot of people who ask for reviews that we've already done reviews. You just have to go into our past videos. We know we have a lot, but we have done a lot of reviews.
Yes, we have.
Just going to point that out.
Hey, Robin, can I say something real quick? This is really important.
Make it quick.
About that, like I said before, I apologize to a certain person who, back when we did the did a little drawing over on our fundraiser pages, I know I am late on that particular review, but because we're now doing this plan, I have it almost done. I'm going to finish it, and I'm going to just add it to the fan-related podcast questions.
And speaking of which, Baka Opai, I will be working on your prize for winning our A&V contest. It was to make a top 10 list of top 10 anime expressions. I am working on that.
I'm working on shit too. I just have to write scripts.
I'm working on stuff as well. Also, if you contributed to the GoFundMe, we are working on getting that stuff sent out. So just bear with us. It's kind of hard with our schedules, but we did not forget you.
Yep. So
that's where like most of this talk's coming from.
Yeah.
And of course I'm doing stuff too. I got like things to edit.
Exactly. We all have our busy schedules. Thank you guys so much for watching. For more awesome videos dealing with everything in pop culture, just go to Pop Spectrum page and watch some of those awesome videos. You'll be glad you did. So thank you guys for watching, and stay tuned to Anime America.
Woo! Bye.
Adios, muchachos.